The CEO of RTS backtracking after yesterday's announcement that riders won't need to wear masks on RTS buses. Governor Hochul, though, says masking will continue on transit systems in New York State, despite that federal judge in Florida striking down the Biden administration's mask mandate for public transportation. Good afternoon. I'm Doug Embledge.
And I'm Dan Schrack, in for Jenny. RTS explaining the confusion today. 13 Wham's Dalton Williams joins us live from the RTS Transit Center downtown, breaking down this change of heart. Dalton?
Yes, in less than 24 hours, customers here at RTS went from having the masks off to the masks back on. A bit of confusion as RTS is having to backtrack after announcing masks would no longer be required on buses. Now the CEO says that was premature.
Speaking with the governor's office yesterday, they reminded us that they also have authority over whether masks are required on public transit. And they're looking at the health data and said, we really need to continue wearing masks. And so we've reinstated the policy today. Sorry for the confusion.
Some say they're glad the masks will still be required.
I think that wearing the mask is a nice thing because, protects other people and everything if they don't have their COVID shots or nothing, and like I have all my men, I still wear a mask. But I think it's a really good thing.
But others were not happy that the reprieve from mandated mask wearing was so short-lived.
You can go to bars, you can go to restaurants, you go to all these events with no mask, but you got to go on the public transit system, where you're more wide open. I think it should be your choice.
Governor Hochul says mandated masking is still being evaluated and that rising cases should be taken into account.
We have to recognize our cases are going up. People are getting sick, and it's having an effect on workforces. And so you get people commuting together on mass transit, people are exposed, you have a greater chance.
Governor Hochul says this is a temporary measure, but she does want to keep everyone as safe as possible as the statewide COVID cases continue to rise. Live in downtown Rochester, I'm Dalton Williams, 13.
All right, Dalton, thank you. The reprieve from mandated masking at the airport was also short-lived. The state says masks are still required at the airport, including Rochester's, and that means you'll have to wear a mask inside the terminal, but then you can take the mask off once you get on the plane. You see, the major airlines began dropping their mask requirements last night, just after a judge in Florida struck down the federal mask mandate. And that mask mandate on planes and trains could be coming back. The Justice Department says it might appeal the judge's decision. It depends on whether the CDC believes that the mandate is still necessary to protect public health. The CDC says it still recommends masks for travel and that it will assess the need for a mask requirement. If there is that appeal, it would mean the Biden administration would head to a higher court to extend the mandate, or hope to, despite the fact that all major airlines have already decided to make the masks optional after that federal judge's ruling.
Parents in the Red Jacket School District expressing concern tonight after a terrifying moment on campus earlier this month.
I don't think there was really a dialogue. I think the school board followed a script.
Some families now calling for a change in district leadership, leaving tonight's meeting feeling no safer than before. Good evening, I'm Dan Schrack, in for Doug and Jenny. This forum comes more than 2 weeks after a student brought a loaded gun to Red Jacket High School. Thankfully, that student was disarmed, but prosecutors say he did intend on using it. 13 Wham's Carla Rogner was at tonight's meeting and has more on the worry that many parents still have. Carla?
Yeah, that's right. Parents packed into tonight's meeting. Many say they want to see more action and communication from the district. Superintendent Charlene Dean speaks to the school board and a packed audience, reading a written statement and publicly addressing the incident for the first time 3 weeks later. She says the district will bring back a school resource officer full-time this fall. Deputy John Peck was the original SRO at Red Jacket Schools.
We can help them to plan ahead and to put things in place that will increase the safety of the students and of the faculty and staff. The other side of that, too, is training. We're involved with training of staff to prepare for, unfortunately, if there's a critical incident that takes place.
Parents also want the district to implement metal or weapon detectors, something Superintendent Dean says the district is looking into. And the meeting did get heated. as parents express their frustration over how this could have happened and saying there's been a lack of communication and transparency since the incident. Justine Mullins' call for the superintendent to resign received by applause from parents in the audience.
Ultimately, the district, the community has no faith in their leader. This comes from both inside and outside the school district. It's time. We need a leader we can stand behind.
Jill Person is a parent to a junior at Red Jacket High. She wanted to be at the meeting to hear what the superintendent had to say.
I don't think there was really a dialogue. I think the school board followed a script. I don't know that they are processing the concerns of the community.
Superintendent Dean says the district has requested a review of the response on April 1st so they can be more prepared to handle emergency incidents in the future. And the superintendent could not do an interview tonight. The Ontario County District Attorney was also at tonight's meeting. He says the 15-year-old suspect remains in custody and he's being held for grand jury. He couldn't provide any new details on the investigation.
Tonight, a dangerous condition downtown as debris falls from a former hotel, closing streets and surprising the neighbors.
There was one person walking across the street. I'm like, dude, this is totes crazy. They're gonna get injured.
Some downtown streets are still closed tonight as some debris is still falling on the sidewalk below. Good evening, I'm Doug Embledge. Jenny's off. The former Richford Hotel has been an eyesore at the corner of Chestnut and Elm for years now. One car was damaged today, but no one was hurt. 13 Wham's Carla Rogner is live at the scene tonight where, again, some of that debris is still falling off that old building.
Yeah, and a lot of that debris and the panels that were all over the ground this afternoon have been cleaned up now. But as you can see, there are still some panels on this building that are barely hanging on and several broken windows. And authorities say the winds today may be to blame. And law enforcement has blocked off the entire area around this building, warning people to stay away as those panels could fall at any time.
The whole infrastructure around here is falling apart. It's insane.
Zachary Towie was in his 9th floor apartment on Chestnut Street Thursday afternoon when he heard a loud noise.
I just heard crashing on the ground. And I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, oh my God. I literally rolled my window open and looked down. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm on FaceTime with my friend. I'm like, the building is collapsing over here, bro.
Panels on a vacant building at Chestnut and Elm had fallen onto the sidewalk and street and even some cars.
I park my car over here all the time. Crazy.
According to city records, the building went up as a hotel in 1915. It has been vacant since 2011, but plans have been in the works since 2018 to turn it back into a hotel.
They keep saying that they're going to revamp these buildings over here. When?
The developer, who also has plans to revive the Hotel Cadillac across the street, bought the Richford in 2015 for $37,000. The property had 9 outstanding code violations and was cited again today after the panels fell. City Hall is in contact with the property owner.
The plan is to get the building stabilized as soon as possible and then to move forward. The key piece right now is to get that structure stabilized to make sure that it does not cause any more damage that could hurt individuals that are walking by.
And we could not reach the property owner or get an update on the plans to turn this building into a hotel. The city says the repairs could take several days and people should expect traffic delays in this area for their morning commute.